What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to our player ratings video here on Anfield Agenda after Liverpool have booked their place in the quarter-finals of this season's FA Cup with a 3-1 victory over Wolves. It might not quite make up for the disappointment we felt on Tuesday, but we do know we are in Monday's draw and we will be ball number 6 in the draw as well. So ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to do here is go through the referee, the substitutes, the players and our manager, giving them all a score out of 10. On each card you'll see two scores. The upper right hand corner is the average Anfield Agenda viewer score, and the large square in the centre at the bottom is my score. If you would like to submit your scores to be included in the player ratings videos moving forward, all you have to do is join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp. And now's the perfect time to do it, because not only can you enter into the WhatsApp, you can also enter our giveaway to win a signed Kenny Dalglish frame shirt completely free. It's part of our month of giveaways with 2026, with thanks to our friends at the Collector's Corner. One item every single month we're going to be giving away this season. In January, we gave away a signed and framed Steven Gerrard shirt. In February, it was a Jurgen Klopp shirt. And this month, it's Kenny Dalglish, and it could be you. Scan that QR code to enter. And don't forget, you can get 20% off at thecollectorscorner.co.uk by using our discount code AnfieldAgenda1 at checkout. Right, let's start off with the referee. I actually think he was all right, you know. Don't really have too many situations where I felt Mr. Hallam got the decisions wrong. I thought he went about his business, yeah, decent. So for me, I'm going to give the referee tonight a score of 7, and the audience we're going a little bit lower with a score for Mr. Hallam of 6.2. Right, we move on now to Alisson Becker. This was a difficult one to score because I think they had 3 shots on target in the entire game. He didn't really have too many serious saves to make. Don't really have too many complaints about his part in the Wolves goal. So, not really sure. So what I've done here, ladies and gents, is I've gone for a score of 6 because I think that about sums it up. Didn't have too much to do, wasn't that busy, didn't make too many mistakes, didn't really blow me away with his distribution either. So I think 6 is a fair score, and the audience, well, they feel similarly with an average score of 6.1 for Alisson. I know a lot of people were disappointed not to see Georgie Mamardashvili get the game today, and I do totally understand where you're coming from. If he is to be the successor to Mr. Alisson Becker, we're going to have to see him in the Liverpool shirt. Right. Andy Robertson, your Anfield Agenda man of the match, a thoroughly deserving winner as well. Got himself a goal and an assist tonight. Just looked really, really good and really comfortable out there as well. Dare I say it, I think we should keep him in the starting 11 for the game against Galatasaray, because away from home in Istanbul, I think we could do with his experience. So for Andy Robertson today, you're not going to be surprised to see a good score. It is a score of 8 from me, and it's an 8.2 from the Anfield Agenda audience. Do let me know your thoughts on Robbo, and do you think he'll sign a new contract to stay at Liverpool, or will he depart when it expires this summer? Right, we move on to Mr. Virgil van Dijk, our captain. Again, you know, he wasn't on the pitch when Wolves scored, so we're not going to hold that one against him. But he didn't have all that much to do. He's always going to be good aerially and dominant, always decent with the ball at his feet as well. So it was a fairly comfortable evening for Virgil. So I'm going to give him a score of 6.5. And the audience feeling quite similar there with a score for our captain of 6.6. I must say, though, I was happy to see him get a rest, even if it was only for the last 10 minutes. The manager hasn't had much of an opportunity to rotate the centre-backs and give them a breather. So any opportunity he can get, I think he should take. Right, Joe Gomez came in, did okay, didn't blow me away, didn't get his goal, which of course we all want him to get. I thought he was all right, you know, not really too much wrong. Good to see him get more minutes under his belt, but we did concede, and it was frustrating to concede such a simple goal as well, with the ball straight over the top through the middle. But all in all, I'm going to give Joe tonight a score of 6, and the audience have gone a bit higher with a score of 6.8 for Joe. I thought he was okay, nothing to write home about, nothing really shocking either, so my score a bit lower than the audience, but that's okay. Let me know what you think in the comments. Moving on to Dominik Szoboszlai. Look, you can see he's not a right back, how he dealt with that long ball over the top. Of course, he can do a job in the role. He's a great distributor of the ball. He's very good energy levels. He's able to do the job, but it doesn't mean he should be doing the job. I would like to see him back in his more familiar role in midfield ASAP. I got to dock him a half a point as well. He should have cleared that long ball over the top from Sam Johnson. He tried to bring it down out of the air, I think, but what he should have done is just put a connection on it and put it out for a throw in on either side. Instead, he let it bounce and the ball ends up in the back of the net and the clean sheet is gone. So for today, I'm going to give Mr. Dominik Szoboszlai a score of 5.5. As I said, he would have got a 6, but he did make a mess of that situation for the goal. So it's a 5.5 for me, and it's a 6.6 from the Anfield Agenda viewers. Moving on to Ryan Gravenberch, I thought this was a little bit better from Ryan than we'd seen previously. Certainly better than his last performance. Yeah, still a little bit too open at times in the middle of the park, but Wolves didn't really have much of a threat going forward today, so the ability to counter us or break away at pace wasn't there as much as it was the game on Tuesday, so I thought Ryan looked a bit more comfortable out there. So with that in mind, giving him a score today of 6, and the audience was going a bit higher again for Ryan with a score of 6.4. One thing, I think the audience can be a little bit too, maybe you say the same about me, a little bit too emotionally invested in some of the scores. When we win, the scores tend to be quite a bit higher. When we lose, quite a bit lower. For me, I don't think there was too many 7s or 8s or high scores to throw around today. We got the job done. First 45 wasn't great. We were better in the second half. But again, don't think there's anybody out there today really outside of Robertson and maybe Rio who had us on the edge of our seats or really put in a great shift. It was job done, professional, but middle of the road performance. So Alexis Mac Allister, again, decent show from him today. Always gets stuck in. He always seemed to pick up a knock or two in every game. Probably unlucky not to get himself on the score sheet. Had a crack from this, and I say unlucky, it was a difficult shot, but with the way he's been finding the net recently, you never know when he picks up the ball. Maka today for me, he's getting a score of 6.5. I thought he was one of the better midfield players that we had on the pitch today. Curtis Jones did a great job as well. We'll move on to him in a minute, but I thought that was decent from Mac Allister, and he's certainly getting back to the player we know he's capable of being. The audience, they've gone a little bit lower with a score for Alexis of 6.2. Now, Curtis Jones, right, this is normally the part where everybody says he took too much out of the ball and he was frustrating, but I think he had a perfect passing rating today. I don't think he missed the pass. And on top of that, he scored a very, very good goal with the way he took it. Just passed it, used the defender as a guide as well, on his weaker foot, didn't have to put the laces through it. Really, really appreciated how good a finish that was from Curtis. And I think he deserves credit for his performance today. So for me, I'm giving Curtis a score of 7, and the audience feel the very same with a score for Mr. Curtis Jones of 7. Moving on now to Mohamed Salah. Good goal. Delighted to see him get that goal. And as Arne said, he doesn't really get caught offside very often. So did think he was onside when I initially looked at it. That being said though, first half, it just wasn't good enough again for Mo. Even in the second half, it was okay. He got himself a goal, but still don't really feel convinced that he's going to do anything serious for us this season. I just think Father Time is catching up with him, and I think we're just going to have to accept that. Yeah, I don't want to knock the man because he did score today, but again, not really feeling it from Mo with what we're seeing this year. And yes, we won today, but still aren't happy with the levels we're seeing from Mo. So for me, I'm going to give him a 6.5, and the audience feel similarly with a score there from Mo of 6.2. Now look, I know people are going to again have a pop at me and say that Mohamed Salah hate this, Mohamed Salah that. I rate Mo harder than anybody else because he needs to be scored harder than anybody else because he is one of the greatest players ever to lace up a pair of boots, and we know what his level is. So when he's not at that level, it probably shows a little bit more, and yes, I probably do judge him a little bit more harshly, as I do with the likes of Alisson Becker and Virgil van Dijk as well. So make no mistake though, I love the man to bits, and when his time is up at Liverpool Football Club, we will look back at it and remember it for what it was. Absolutely world-class, phenomenal, and rightly will go down the pantheon of Liverpool greats. Now, speaking about Liverpool greats, this young man certainly has the ability to go on to become one. Came in today, got the start from the manager, which again he thoroughly deserved. Will he play over in Galatasaray? Well, that remains to be seen. But if he doesn't play there, you'd certainly feel he's likely to start against Spurs next weekend at Anfield. So for Rio today, job well done, young man. Still some things that he could work on, as you would expect of any young player. But for Rio today, we're giving him a score of 7, and the audience have gone even higher with a score for young Rio Ngumoha of 8.2. You know my thoughts though. I love a young attacking wide player getting the ball and just running at defenders and making stuff happen. Had a couple of shots today that keeper was forced into saves, but always looking to make something happen. Just a thoroughly enjoyable young man, footballer to watch. Right, Cody Gakpo. It was a tough one for Cody today because he was obviously playing in a central role where we didn't we didn't have that much action in that area of the pitch. And he's a different type of central player, the way he plays it, to the likes of a Hugo Ekitike or a Bobby Firmino, who would look to drop deep, link up play. And he did do that to some extent, the linking up play part, but this is a game I don't think it's fair to judge him harshly on, because he was doing a job for the team in a position that isn't his natural one, and I think he did it to the best of his ability. So for Cody today, I'm giving him a score of 6, and the audience have gone lower with a score for Cody of 5.2. Of all the times we've critiqued him, this is the one this season that I really do feel he needs a bit of grace on, because it's not his natural position. We didn't really create much centrally. There wasn't much space for him to operate in, and I just thought he did a decent job for the team. So, Jeremie Frimpong, I really thought he made a big impact, even though he wasn't on the pitch for that long. Straight away getting into attacking areas and absolutely turning them inside out. You know, it's very rarely I'll give a score above 6 or 6.5 for a substitute, but I'm giving him a 7 because I really was excited by what I've seen from him. Again, he just causes trouble down that right-hand side, and, you know, is there an argument for him to play up top against Galatasaray on the right-hand side, or do you stick with Mohamed Salah there? Make sure that he plays right back, because either way, I want him on the pitch. We need that pace and the threat that he poses going forward. So it's a 7 for me, and it's a score of 6.4 from the Anfield Agenda audience. Moving on now to Florian Wirtz. Great to see him back out there on the pitch. Hopefully he has no adverse reaction or anything like that to getting a few minutes. Hopefully his back holds up and isn't too sore. That being said, it's important that he's available for Tuesday. He looked okay when he came on. Always, again, looking to make stuff happen, taking up the right positions. Interesting to see him operating off the left as well. But all in all, it was a fairly uneventful few minutes on the pitch. So I've given him a score of 6. And the audience have gone similarly with a score of 6.1. Now, we move on to Trey Nyoni, and again, more good minutes for the young man, more first-team experience, and this will benefit him going on. Again, he came into the game at a point where it was 1 for Liverpool, and he never looks out of place, and that's one of the biggest compliments that I can give young Trey Nyoni. So, for me today, for that little cameo, ladies and gents, I'll give him a score of 6, and the audience feeling similarly with a score there for young Nyoni of 6.2. Now, Ibrahima Konate. Well, I have to dock him half a point straight away because he should have scored. Like, let's be honest, he should have scored. That being said, he seemed to see the funny side of it, and it didn't have any impact on the team with regards to, you know, losing us the game or anything. We did, again, concede a very straightforward, simple goal through the middle, and it just bugs me how easy we are to play through there. But we hope Konate is enjoying his football. We hope Konate sees his future here at the club as well. From his little cameo from the bench today, he gets a 5.5 from me. Would have been a 6, but he gets docked a half point for missing that chance. And it's a 5.8 from the audience. But let me know in the comments what you think, because Liverpool fans seem somewhat split on what they think happens with Ibrahima Konate this summer. I kind of go back and forth between thinking he is going to stay, he's not going to stay. But ultimately, I hope he does, because he has been a part of our success in recent years, and we know what we get with Ibu. Right, moving on now to young Kieran Morrison. I really enjoyed his little cameo. I've been slow getting up to speed on Kieran Morrison, doing great things with the underage team this year, setting records as well. Came on, probably feel a little bit disappointed he didn't grab himself a goal. He sliced across that shot, but you can see there the attacking threat and the directness of him when he came on. Really promising little cameo for him. So hopefully he gets more opportunities going on. But today I'm giving him a score of 6.5 because I really do think he gave us something when he came on and showed why he's been moved up towards the first team. It's a 5.8 from the Anfield Agenda viewers. Now we move on to Arne Slot. So, a couple of things today. One, first half still wasn't good enough, but whatever he did say at halftime did have an impact, and we came out in the second half and we looked better. I don't know if he let the shackles off a little bit, but we just looked more like ourselves. That being said, first 45 is still somewhat of a concern, but I want us to win. We won. We booked a place in the next round. We have a big test against Galatasaray. So taking all of that into account with the week that's in it and the pressure he's under, I'm giving Arne today a score of 6. And the audience have gone a little bit lower with a score for the manager of 5.5. Like I said, much better second half. Still concerned as to why we're starting games slowly. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for the Anfield Agenda player ratings. Now it's over to you guys to let us know your thoughts in the comment section. We won't be here with a live stream tomorrow, but we will have a couple of news videos coming out for you and a few clips in the podcast as well. We'll be back live on Sunday where we'll take you through a late night agenda. And don't forget the Reds in action against Galatasaray on Tuesday of next week. And then then it is Tottenham Hotspur at home in the Prem. We'll talk to you soon. Enjoy your weekend. Much love. Bye-bye.